In this one, we want to remove evidence of our former project, which is the MVP landing page project. We want to remove as much of that as we possibly can. And that first thing starts with Git. So we want to remove the Git history because we're basically starting fresh, although we already have a bunch of code that's already done. So to do this, we're going to go ahead and remove rf-rf and then .git. So that removes the Git history. So if I do git status now, it's going to say there's no repository whatsoever. So if you wanted to actually add a repository, this is how you would do it, is just git init, and this creates your repository, and then we would do git add dot, and then git commit, message, and initial commit. All right, so that's how you would add a new GitHub repository and remove the old one. So now if we do git status, it's not saying anything's different. Now, if you did git status prior to removing that Git repository, it would show you all the different changes that are between our project and the Django 1.8 project, which those things we don't need to commit because this is a new project. It's completely new. Now, there's a lot of ways around doing this with Git, and we're not going to get into those in this project, so just keep that in mind. But we just removed basically the history of the Django project here. And the next few things we want to do is, if we list it out, we want to change all of the Django 1.8 stuff. So let's go ahead and open up the folder for MatchMaker, and we're going to go into source. And in here, what I want to do is go into the Django 1.8 and go into the WSGI folder, and we want to change everything here. So I'm going to call the Django 1.8 this to being MatchMaker. And now in the WSGI, we want to open this up, but I'm also going to delete all of these .pyc files. They're not necessary. Throw these in the trash, as well as the old settings. We don't need those anymore either. So WSGI, we want to actually add this into our project. I'm also going to get rid of these Sublime Text projects and just delete this. And then open up Sublime Text. And I'm going to create a brand new project specifically for this. So save project as. We're going to go into our desktop, MatchMaker, and we're going to call it MatchMaker. And project, we're going to add files or folders to this project. So back into our desktop, MatchMaker. We can add the entire MatchMaker project if we want. So that's actually what I'll do, is I'll just have the entire project in there. Perfect. So now that we've got this, we can actually edit some more things a little bit easier. So let's go into the MatchMaker settings, and we'll go into WSGI. And now this is MatchMaker. .settings, so we're just changing the environment's default for this Django. So the Django settings is going to be this MatchMaker. And now wherever we see MatchMaker, we want to get rid of that. So we can do a site-wide search for it, or we could just try it out and let's see what happens. So if I list everything and go to cd-src, so go into the source and do python manage.py, run server, it's now saying, oh, we've got this problem of Django 1.8 settings. So let's do a search for the Django 1.8 settings within this project. So if I do Command-Shift-F, it pulls this up, and this allows me to look through the project itself. So I'm going to clear this folder, and I'm going to add a folder in here. And I'm going to go into our desktop MatchMaker, and into source. That's mainly where this issue is going to be. And we're going to search in here for these settings. So we go ahead and hit find. And now we've got this other one of manage.py is having Django 1.8. So of course that is MatchMaker. And now we run it again. And again it's saying, oh, we don't have a module named this. So let's do a search just for Django 1.8 with Command-Shift-F and no longer settings. So everywhere we see this, we have settings. So this is going to be now MatchMaker. Settings for the Django 1.8 MatchMaker. So everywhere in there I can go through and do this. Now if I look at a quick search for it, I see that, oh, I've got all this different stuff that I can actually replace the Django. So I do Command-Shift-F, and this will allow me to replace all of that with MatchMaker. And we just click replace, and it's going to replace all 9 occurrences. Okay, that's good. That's what we want to see. This about page is now working the way we wanted, just like what we did before in Django. And let's go ahead and run the server again. And it's still saying that we've got this issue. So let's see what's going on. We want to save the settings here for all of our different files. And there we go. So now it's using settings, matchmaker.settings. So if we go back into our project, it still loads and runs just like we want. So since we have this, we can change some other things too, like our templates and all that. But I'm actually going to let you guys do that. I'm going to stop the video and then let you just come through and change all the different things you might want. In this case, we had an image here. I'm just going to change it back to being Matchmaker. And that's it. So any other text that you might want to change, you can go through and actually change it to being fit better with the project. We will update some stuff as we go, but the main point here is to get our Matchmaker project actually the project that we're going to be working with versus the MVP landing. So we changed everything about the code to fit that, and that's how you would do it. As you notice, there were some errors and stuff like that, and you just have to work through them. So you see the error. If I scroll up again, here's the error right here. Is no WSGI application Django, it does not exist, right? Cannot load module Django 1.8 WSGI. Now I know this from a lot of experience where you would actually set this. So if we actually looked inside of, let's say, base.py, which is in our settings, this is where you actually set your WSGI file or where it's located, and that's it right here. So before it said Django 1.8 and so on, and that's the same with the root URL conf. It also said Django 1.8. So there's going to be a lot of those errors if you wanted to switch from the old project to this new one, and that's how you do it. Okay, so if you have any questions on this, let us know. Otherwise, let's keep going.